very special day, Good Friday, for a service of reflection. Even though we're physically separated from each other, we'll be joining together today through shared prayer and action. And to participate fully, you'll need a largish nail and something metal that you can drop the nail into, maybe a bucket. So if you'd like to either pick those up if you've prepared that already, or go and collect them now, that would be great. And we're going to begin our service with a minute or two of silence. So please join us as we sing, "Were you there when they crucified my Lord?" So our readings this morning are taken from John chapter 19 and Luke 23, and they're merged together to give a sense of the chronology over Good Friday. Finally, Pilate handed Jesus over to be crucified. So the soldiers took charge of him. Carrying his own cross, he went out to the place of the skull, which in Aramaic is called Golgotha. There they crucified him, and with him 2 others, one on each side and Jesus in the middle. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing." And they divided up his clothes by casting lots. The people stood watching, and the rulers even sneered at him. They said, "He served others and saved others. Let him save himself if he is God's Messiah, the chosen one." The soldiers also came up and mocked him. They offered him wine vinegar and said, "If you are the king of the Jews, save yourself." There was a written notice above him which read, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals who hung there hurled insults at him. "Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and us." But the other criminal rebuked him. "Don't you fear God," he said, "since you are under the same sentence? We are punished justly for what we are getting what our deeds deserve, but this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus answered him, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." So try to picture in your mind, to imagine that you are one of those who insulted Jesus. Maybe you can picture yourself as a ruler, or maybe as a criminal, or maybe just someone in the crowd. Pick up your nail and hold it positioned away from your hand. Reflect on a time when you've caused pain to others and to God. Now pick up your nail again, but this time point it gently into your palm. Reflect on when you felt hurt or humiliation yourself. Feel God's presence with you as you live with that hurt. Now I'm going to invite you to put your nail down and to step away. I'm going to stay seated so you can still see me, but it's really good physically for you to do that. Put your nail down and step to one side. Reflect for a moment when you stood aside and observed someone who's been wrongly treated. In this moment of silence, turn towards the Holy Spirit, who can empower us to stand with those who have been badly treated. And where you've acted wrongly, receive forgiveness and the courage to be reconciled. So again, we'll have a few moments of silent reflection and prayer. We're now coming to the second part of this act of worship, and we're thinking about approaching the cross. So again, I've combined passages from Luke 23 and John 19. It was now about noon, and darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon, for the sun stopped shining, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Jesus said, "I am thirsty." A jar of wine vinegar was there, so they soaked a sponge in it, put the sponge on a stalk of the hyssop plant, and lifted it to Jesus' lips. When he had received the drink, Jesus said, "It is finished." And then he called out with a loud voice, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." When he had said this, he breathed his last. So we're now going to sing The Power of the Cross. So I'd love you to imagine a cross that's significant to you. It might be one in church, it might be one you've seen somewhere else, but hold it in your mind's eye and visualise it as we think about coming forward to the cross. So on this darkest of days, we remember the death of Jesus of Nazareth, confessing our participation in the sin of this world. In our mind's eye, we picture coming forward to the cross. We are invited to place our fears and judgments, our guilt and our worries at the foot of the cross. We are promised forgiveness and hope in return. So we bring to the cross our awareness of violence in ourselves and the world. We bring to the cross our fears that can sour into hate. We bring to the cross our judgment of the beliefs of others. In the cross we see an end, but also a doorway to a new beginning with God. So come, leave the old behind and prepare to be born anew. Come singing and then depart in silence as the disciples slip quietly away from the sorrowful scene of crucifixion. And as we come forward, we'll listen to how deep the Father's love for us. So when you're ready, pick up your nail and then drop it into the bucket, releasing your hurts and your guilt to God, placing them at the foot of the cross. And after you've done that, go in silence and in peace.